Now, and you guys might have talked about this, but do you guys feel a lot better after today's game about your lines, both offensive and defense? Because I thought your lines looked a little hungry today. I think they played a lot better. I think they showed a lot more strength. Is that kind of what you guys took from it, or?
Offensive line for sure, but not the defensive line. Like the defensive line is not even close to where it needs to be.
I thought they stood up pretty well though once they got inside the red zone.
Yeah, USC's best defensive plays were inside its own 5-yard line.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the line kind of showed up then, not so much getting to the red zone, but I mean, at least that's a good sign. At least they're strong when they actually need to be.
Yeah, but Tony brought it up. They didn't set the edge. They weren't staying at home. They're that huge reverse with the tight end. That was not some that wasn't like some slot speedy receiver. That was their tight end that took it for like 50 yards. They really were not. They did not play disciplined football, to be honest. I like the linebacker play. I think the linebackers played well. I would like to see. I mean, we know it's not his strong point, but Lee had some trouble getting out on the edge. Got that running back was beating him out there. There was a weird play where it just looked like the guy walked 22. Smith walked right into the end zone on that play because or caught that ball and just walked right in because nobody rolled over to cover him. I don't know. Clearly a blown assignment. So I think there's a lot to clean up on the defense.
How did Tanner McKee look tonight, guys? Just out of curiosity.
Like a laser gun, man. That guy was everything is advertised. What do you guys think?
He hit some very good back shoulder throws, but I think he also was throwing off his back foot. He was throwing imbalanced on a few plays. So, but the other thing to realize is that, with USC getting that early 14-21 point lead, like he was not put in a position to play his best. So that has to be kept in mind. I mean, Matt, he certainly made several NFL style throws, but like the overall body of work was limited. But of course he was set up to fail because he was playing multiple possessions behind the whole game.
Okay.
Yeah. He only threw for 220 yards. They basically, I think they outrushed their passing game. They're 231 on the ground and 220 through the air. And he did have some bad throws. Do you think though, he might be the best quarterback we see this year? I mean, I know that I think Chance Nolan's is really good as well. But do you think that he might be the best quarterback we see this year, especially arm talent wise?
I would say Cam Rising at this point. Certainly not Notre Dame's quarterback. I think that Cam Rising, is most likely the guy, and especially in Salt Lake City, I think he's going to be in a very comfortable place, and you're not going to see, I don't think, USC get off to a big early lead at Utah. So like Cam Rising will have a game situation where he's able to dictate the tempo of that game. So I would say Rising at this point.
And I would say Jade Laura down in Tucson has the potential to be a good number 2.
Yeah, he's looking strong.
Yeah, he's always been. Yeah, that was a great move by Jed Fish getting him. That guy, I've always been impressed. He's played on some bad Coug teams, but he's always kept them in games. So,
and an update, they are still in the thick of it against Mississippi State. Arizona's right now only down 15-10 in the second quarter.
That would be a huge win. That would be a big statement win.
That would be a statement win for the conference. If they can do it. But I think we had a statement win tonight on national TV in front of the world. USC said we're on the way back.
Yeah.
And got the credit. We all complain about ESPN's SEC loving drivel. But aside from the typical SEC autofellatio and ESPN, I thought we were really getting good comments from the commentators that indicated that USC was back in the driver's seat and respected and doing what we were supposed to do. And that is a refreshing change.
I liked Herbie's breakdown. They did a split screen when they were showing, he was kind of helping the lame and showing, exactly what he was doing on the sidelines, helping out his quarterback, calling plays, looking at the matchups, and then calling out the play and the mismatches too, Caleb. I thought that was really great. But overall, again, I'm really not going to miss that crew very much covering USC games, guys.
It'll be a little better when we get Joel Klatt and those guys with us. And I think we're going to get the CBS guys a lot, actually, which they have their own brand of dribble, but I don't mind.
I was texting you, Tim and Tony, during the show, or during the day before the show, that USC and Lincoln Riley have heard what happened earlier today with the upsets that are going on, with Notre Dame going down, Texas A&M going down, Alabama going down to the wire against an unranked Texas team going on the road. That's what happens versus a neutral setting when there's a generic crowd. You had a bunch of pressure down there in Austin happening. And, kudos to Bama. I think we talked about it, Tide Guy, that the players stepped up and played. But this was a chance on a national stage on ABC to have Herbie and Reese Davis, who are owned by SEC, the SEC network, basically, the SEC and their money. They're a controlled mouthpiece. We know that. But it was a chance on a national stage to go out and do it, to beat the spread. The spread was what, 8.5 to 9.5? And sure, yeah, USC gave up a little bit towards the end. But bottom line, they didn't win by 2 points. They didn't win by a point. When in the heck did Clay Helton ever have back-to-back games where they forced 4 turnovers and 4 turnovers? Never happened. So The stage was there, the opportunity was met, and USC delivered.
Did you hear the win Clay Helton got today?
Yeah,
we were talking about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what the?
I don't want this. We said his name to quota. You got over the quote of saying that man's name today. Yes,
I apologize. I apologize.
I'll tell you why he becomes relevant, and that is because Nebraska's going to. Hold on, before I have to meet you all, so I can explain this. It becomes relevant because, although Tim can unmute, so it's fine. He becomes relevant because all of a sudden Nebraska, our new Big Ten closest rival or second closest rival, is going to be in another rebuild. And so with that, let me bring in Larry real quick. I'm going to bring in Zach, who's got some points. Zach watched the game. Anything else real quick before we bring in Zach, Larry?
No, I'm good. It was great talking with you guys.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Glad to have you.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks.
By the way, John, I totally agree with you. We got to get Jerry Rice a USC shirt for sure. I don't know where.
How fun was that with Jerry Rice and Ronnie Lott on the sideline?
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
Actually, guys, I was like, it was crazy seeing that. I think we're going to start seeing. I mean, think about it. We have parents that are superstars, which we have our own alumni and our actors.
I think next week in the Coliseum. Yeah. Next week in the Coliseum, they'll start to show up on the sidelines. Zach,
back to this again, Bart. Dude, you freaked me out. How is 14-13 Beavers over the Bulldogs?
Yeah, you said that, and I went and quickly refreshed the score.
What? I'm not sure if that's owning. I don't know sure definition that is, Bart, but maybe they're taking it to him phically, but it's not showing up on the scoreboard.
We might expect that from like Valley Bulldog for you 95 or something like that. But we're just kidding, Bart. Zach, tell us, what did you think about the game?
Well, it's a good win for USC. I'm glad for you guys. Caleb Williams had an outrageous game, only 7 incompletions and 4 touchdowns. But I think you were talking about the Nebraska game. My goodness. I bet Trev Alberts is just waiting for the clock to tick to October 1st when that buyout goes down, because I don't know what else needs to happen for him to be gone, and Fresno just took the lead with a field goal.
And Baylor has taken the lead over BYU 13-10 for anybody else that's following those games, which you're certainly a good week to see BYU lose. Zach, what did you think about the USC kind of first half versus second half?
I actually didn't get to see it because I was watching Nebraska's downfall, but really the only thing I saw was that Jordan Addison bomb, which was amazing.
Beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. It was Jordan Addison. Ever since he was at Pitt, I've liked his game, and that connection between Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison is looking good so far, and hopefully it can continue to look good for you guys.
What did you think about the rest of the Pac-12 today? Didn't you caught the Wazoo game, didn't you?
Well, I was keeping up with it while I was at the Purdue game this afternoon, and
that's right. You were in the stands at Purdue.
Yeah, I was. I was at the game. But big win for Washington State, and another day with the wild Big Ten West. Nebraska goes down. Northwestern, after their Nebraska win, lost to Duke somehow. It's very concerning for Wisconsin, who was supposedly a front runner and favorite to win the division, but they lost to a field goal to Washington State. So who knows what's in store for them as they start to play Purdue, Minnesota, and Iowa. And speaking of Iowa, Matt Campbell beat the Hawkeyes for the first time in his Iowa State career, which I felt like a lot of us saw that coming with Iowa's performance against South Dakota State.
I think USC is going to do just fine in the Big Ten.
I think so too.
Certainly if USC is in the Big Ten West.
Yeah, the West.
The travel.
But I heard news out of the Big Ten West tonight. Did you guys hear the news?
What's the news?
With all this conference realignment, Nebraska and Iowa got together and said, Nebraska, give us your offense. We'll use our defense, and we'll play as one team.
There you go.
Well,
I owe Bart an apology.
As long as it's not coached by either of their coaches.
Right. Yeah, we got to get an outside coach.
We'll bring in Pat Fitzgerald. Pat Fitzgerald gets the Nebraska offense and the Iowa defense together under his control.
Oh, could you imagine?
I owe Bart an apology. Bart, you're absolutely right. What he's talking about is the fact that Chase Nolan is 3 of 9 for 33 yards through we're starting into the third quarter, and their leading rusher has about 40 yards on the ground. So it's what he's saying is that although the scoreboard looks close, it looks like the Beavs are getting kind of dominated. So
interesting.
Yeah, but you better have more than a 2-point lead to show for it. Like that usually comes back to bite you. Just ask Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't win kicking field goals. Yeah, this is not how you get it. I thought that Notre Dame was going to pull it out simply because of the fact that you just can't settle for field goals in football games. And no matter how many times they got down to the knocking on the door, they kept kicking field goals. And I thought honestly that was going to bite them, but it didn't turn out that way.
But when you have a quarterback that throws a pick six,
yeah, that was a nail.
That's a question mark at Notre Dame, and it will continue to be so. But Tyler Buckner is not the answer, and Drew Pine, I think is his name, the backup. Nice kid, but he was a deer in the headlights.
Yeah,
I was a little worried they were gonna the Marshall people were gonna have to sit down with the RA and have a talk about sexual assault on campus with how he got tackled and sacked and rolled around that field. That was rough.
It was quiet in South Bend. He's very quiet.
Drew Pine is such a nice guy too. If you guys are familiar with him and his family and interview, he's a great guy, but he got rocked when he came in.
Yeah.
Well, did you see what Marcus Freeman said at a little pep rally before the game?
No.
There's no other better place out there that would be better to start off this era with a win than Notre Dame Stadium. Well, we haven't gotten that win yet.
We're not there yet.